Hey, welcome. All right. So, welcome to AI Smart Insiders. And today in news, we have Meta saying they are going to move to the OG Facebook. We will see. Um, and they want to lean into the cultural roots and foundation of what Meta was, and hoping that they'll get more Gen Z, and they want to still develop product that Gen Z will like. Um, we'll see what that means in a little bit. We'll probably have to report back because I don't know what OG Facebook is. And if it means I'm actually going to see more stories from my friends and less ads, that'd be fantastic. So let's hope so. And let's see, we've got a new open source AI model, AI 2, just launched Hulu, and it's supposed to be outperforming ChatGPT and DeepSeek. It's funny. This is happening so much now. Like this is the new one. And it's AI 2 is the Allen Institute, as in Paul Allen, co-founder of well, not co-founder, high up at Microsoft, maybe co-foundery, but yeah. Um, so it's the Allen Institute is AI 2. So I'm curious how that will go. And again, something else that we're going to test out. But it's funny. Everybody's launching something and it's the next best thing. Like, this is amazing. This is faster. It tests better. Um, so yeah,
I thought
Andrea, what
I thought it was kind of interesting that they're already comparing themselves to DeepSeek. DeepSeek has like really come out as like a clear higher winner, even with OpenAI, which I think is really interesting. When I used it the first time, I thought it was really great. And I know I said this on another session, but I just wasn't sure about all the settings and all the things you can do. Uh, but everywhere I go now, everybody's comparing themselves to DeepSeek instead of, or primary to and secondary OpenAI, which I think is really interesting that that has made that move so quick. I don't know, just something I've been seeing.
yeah, and Claude, which is on Anthropic, has not been mentioned at all. And it's still amazing and lovely. And we love Claude. Um, and so I don't know how it's testing and everything, but there are certain things that we use it for and we really like it. And for us, the most of our regular daily purposes, being a little bit faster doesn't make much of a difference because it's so fast right now. Um, so we'll see. It's supposed to be less expensive too. Um, and then there is a really cool art project out at UBC, University of British Columbia, that students are working on, and it's to support artists and their intellectual property. And I met one of the artists who was training, the students are helping him train a model on all his art. He does photography and makes digital art, and then he will own all the information. It's in his own little LLM, and so it's protected and the IP is protected. So all of the new outputs have his style, and he would get the intellectual property rights from them. Because if you're creating something with over in Chat GPT, let's say you're creating some things, you don't own that intellectual property. It's this amalgamation of other things that people have made. If you take it into Photoshop and you layer on and you do all these images and you maybe make a collage or something, then that's more protectable. But artists are definitely fighting back so much with AI. um, I had a conversation with an art student on, I don't know, Thursday, Friday last week, and she was saying how the art school she goes to, which is Emily Carr, is really against AI. And she does 2D animation and is looking for an internship, a really high profile internship this summer. And I said, well, if you know how to use AI for this, you will be more likely to get the internship than somebody who doesn't know how to use AI. So whether it's used in the creative process or not, artists need to embrace it because it's the people who know how to use these tools who and also know art that are going to get better results. And this is a conversation we've had for the last couple of years because we had somebody on our team with a degree in cinematography. She could tell mid-journey how she wants her images, and she could get better outputs from mid-journey than just about any of us because she'd get so detailed on the camera you're using, the lens you're using, the angles, the lighting, the depth of field. And so her outputs were the best because she knows about art. And if you're an artist and you can instruct AI in a unique and creative way that no one else can because you have your creative perspective. And so I think it's a really powerful tool for artists too. And I mean, Andrea went to school for design, I went to school for design and photography, and we we both are more on the creative side of things. And every creative has their unique ability and their special magic. And if you can bring that to your AI instructions, you'll get better outputs and you can still stand out creatively. So I'm a big proponent of knowing how to use AI so you're not afraid of it and not afraid that it's going to take your job. And then, okay, this is something we did last week. I'm sure that we use Read AI for note taking, and it tells me all of the words that I'm using. Let's see, I'm gonna get my, maybe I'll get this, maybe I'll do this later. But I love looking at seeing what Read AI says. And I know right now I've been using some junk words a lot, some of those filler words, and it tells me so. Anyways, back to what we were doing last week. We can create, and you can create custom agents, custom GPTs or gems, whatever you want to call them, to craft a really great voice and then use well, we're not going to use the gems to create the voice. We're going to use the gems to execute scripts based on your voice. And we have instructions in our newsletter about crafting custom GPTs for your personalized individual voice. And I don't want to exclude Gemini or any of the other AI agent tools. And the instructions of how to make a custom GPT or agent are very similar. So we're just going to call them agents, and I'm going to show how to do this in Chat GPT. And Charis, for you, you are going to be way ahead on this lesson because we do cover it in class, and I think you're probably going to use it in the meantime. Um, but we want to create a custom agent today live in our session and show you just how easy it can be. And there are instructions on how to do this in the newsletter from last week. And that's also on the blog, um, which will be in the notes. If you're watching the YouTube video, the link to the blog will be in the notes that has the instructions on how to make a custom agent or GPT that has a really robust voice. And that will allow you to write anything, emails, blog posts, or anything that sound like you and not like AI. And you'll want to continually refine your outputs because you'll start to notice there are certain words. I say so, which you may have noticed. I say so a lot. And my AI does too, my AI version of me, because it's so tuned to me. It knows my filler words and it uses my filler words. So I have to exclude those filler words from the training to get the kind of outputs that I want that make me sound the way I'd like to sound professionally. Also, when I'm writing, I don't use so as much as I do when I'm speaking. And these are for mostly written outputs. And then tools that we talked about this week, CRM OS, and we love our CRM. We love all the AI and automation capabilities that it has. We're going to be doing a session, I think at the end of Feb, about that and some of the automations that we have set up. So we can just show you the inside and what we've done with AI and automation. And then Gamma for creating presentations, which I did one. I did a couple these last couple weeks, or maybe two this week. I don't know. Did some Gamma presentations. It makes doing decks really quick, and you can do documents and websites with it. And then Runway, which is a fun AI text to video generator. And I have been playing with Sora some more too. They're kind of similar. Um, in the they're both text to video generators. Next week, February 11th, is when our next applied AI course kicks off. And we still have some seats available if you want. There's a link in the blog to that as well. I can't wait for this new cohort. We have completely redone all of our curriculum, all of our lessons, and we've updated everything just to we update it often because now we're seeing more people come with a bit more AI experience. And so we're going to get more in depth on items that we haven't been able to tackle in the applied AI course because there just hasn't been enough time to get everybody up to speed. I think we'll be able to do it this time. So I'm really excited to see what people make because we are going to be making more things in this next applied AI cohort. Okay,
Ask
let's see. Yeah.
just a quick question. I didn't get a meeting invite for Tuesdays. I have the meeting invite for Wednesdays.
You'll be
Will
getting
you?
that.
Okay, great. That's all.
Mhm.
Okay. So step one, I'm posting this in the chat. Maybe I'm posting it. It'll let me. Maybe I won't post it. We'll just talk about this and we'll go over and do it in Chat GPT. Um, actually, Taurus, do you want to do this? Do you want to be our guinea pig? Would you like to try? Do you have a paid account for Chat GPT? You do? Okay.
I had to take I said I'd love to. So you want me to
Yeah.
share my screen?
Yeah, share your screen and we'll walk you through how to do this.
Okay. It'll just take me a minute. I'm not used to using Zoom in terms of sharing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where my window is. Let's see. If I do this, I think this will get me. Oh, that's the wrong browser. How do
Looks
I
like,
go ahead and let me pull up ChatGPT so I can see it. I have it.
yeah.
Okay. Let's try this. If I share my entire screen, will that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys see it?
Yes. I see it. All right. Let's have you grab, where do you think you write? Like if I needed 2 pages of your writing, where would I get it?
Um, trying to have like I'm not ready for everyone to see my prompts, right? Do you want to see? Do
No,
you?
I want your writing.
Okay, like an
So
article?
you
Could
can
I?
also not share screen if you want to for a minute, but you can go into your emails and get your email responses. You could do an article that you've written, a
Yeah.
blog post. Yeah. Anything that sounds like you,
Okay. Trying to,
like
because
you
I do
personally.
a lot of ghostwriting, right? So I'm trying to think of something that's specific, like to Everrise marketing. So let me just look in there real quick before
Well, I
I
don't even want Everrise marketing. I want you, Charis, as a human being. Um,
to think of something.
and so emails are a good source of that,
Okay, then
unless
let's
you've
do that.
written unless you've written an article that's an opinion piece by you and not in a
Yeah.
brand voice.
Yeah, I was thinking of the ghostwriting that I've done. So what would be a good email to bring? Like,
Just
should I bring
copy
up
and you can copy and paste your emails from a few different ones because if you're like me, you just write quick responses.
I know. So just give me just a moment. I was trying to think of a longer email that I've sent. Let's see. Kind of
Even
feel
if you just have bits of short ones, that's fine.
okay. This is actually, I mean, this is, should I just cut and paste the language?
Yep. Yep. Copy and paste that. Grab some more copy.
It's funny because I feel like I've sent some long emails and, oh, I know a good one. Let's see.
And another way to do it, which we're not going to do right now, but you can take transcripts from Zoom calls and
Okay.
then pull your voice out, like just your speech, and copy and paste it in and use, because the way that you speak in a Zoom meeting is typically pretty accurate to the casual voice. And in our Jasper account, we have many different voices. So I might have a LinkedIn voice and I might have a more casual social media voice that's for other social media, but LinkedIn, I might want it to sound a little more professional. And so you might end up having different voices or just giving slightly different instructions if you're trying to get different outputs. Um, because speaking in a Zoom is likely going to be casual and you'll have more filler words than you do in an email.
I thought I had it good. I
And
did.
Andrea took meeting notes and she created voices for us. And somebody on the team asked, well, yeah, it described the voice. And she said, well, can it tell me what sign I am? And it did. It got my
Good.
sign accurate. It got her sign, but it didn't get Andrea's sign right.
I bet it would get it right with my new voice. I should redo it.
Oh, because you can even take your voice thing and just ask what sign.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll try it again.
Okay.
Okay, so I have three, after I paste this, I've
Okay.
put my three different types of emails in there.
All right. So scroll to the top and say, based on the copy below, please describe the tone of voice or you can just say, please describe the tone of voice. That should get you what you need.
Am I good to hit return?
Yep.
Be horrible
Professional and clear.
if it's that other stuff than professional.
Collaborative and supportive, approachable and polite, appreciative and endorsing, results driven, action oriented.
That's the part that I want to see.
The tone is a balance of professionalism and warmth, making the communication effective, engaging, and motivating for the recipients. Excellent. Now I would ask ChatGPT, what famous people have a tone of voice similar to mine?
Well, thank you for letting me do this. This is neat.
You're
Based
welcome.
oh, this is, I feel like I'm in like middle school and they like assign like a color or something that you're like, yeah, I want to. Okay.
Adam Grant, interesting. Brene Brown and Melinda Gates. Okay, so now pick one or two of these people, look at the list, and what is it that you like about their voice? So if you wanted to sound like Melinda Gates, it says she communicates with a blend of intellect, clarity, warmth, making people feel heard while driving conversations towards actionable solutions. So you could say, You could use this as this is going to be part of your voice instructions. Um, so note what you like about Melinda Gates, and you can copy and paste some of this.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
but
because it's
yeah, I would copy and paste it and save it in a note or something for now.
okay.
Yeah, because we'll be inside of creating a GPT, so you won't have access to that so much.
Okay, so I'll put it in a note. Or I mean, I'm just going to put it in a Word doc.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So let's paste those. And why don't you go ahead and paste your original voice description in there too? Okay. Now you're crafting your voice. And the reason we want to have some famous people is if we think about Melinda Gates, she has written so much that AI has already been trained on. And so if you say I want it to sound like Melinda Gates, you're going to have a more well-rounded, more robust human sounding voice in your outputs. So let's go to your doc and go to the people, and let's pick two people. And let's say if you wanted Sheryl Sandberg, um, you could say, with you could do Sheryl Sandberg's clarity, warmth, and results driven mindset, whatever. Like pick the thing that it is that you want out of Sheryl Sandberg's voice. So for me, my example is Michelle Obama. And
Mm-hmm.
I say use the heart of Michelle Obama and use the short punchiness of Neil Patel. And they're completely different voices, but I love the emotional connection that Michelle Obama makes. But if I use just her voice, it's way too wordy and lengthy, and it isn't really me. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So you might say, I want Sheryl Sandberg's voice in because of the results, like how she has the results driven mindset. So I will say I want the heart of Michelle Obama and the short punchiness of Neil Patel.
And
So if
so
you
I would
put,
say for like the directness of Sheryl Sandberg. I could
yeah,
say the and I think Melinda Gates, she does clarity too. So that was the
yeah, whatever the part of it is that you like, um, say that you want this from that person. So from that person's voice.
and then
And you'll
should I
need,
pick a couple, just like one more for the sake of time?
yeah,
Directed.
you only need two people is fine.
Okay,
Two
great.
people is totally
I
fine.
think that's
But
fine.
so write this sentence though, so that AI knows what you want from Melinda Gates' voice, and you'll need to say
Okay.
Melinda Gates because Sheryl Sandberg is clear. So
Okay.
use the you because it says she communicates with clarity, warmth, and results-driven mindset while maintaining a professional and supportive tone. So you could say use the clarity, warmth, and results-driven mindset while maintaining a professional and supportive tone like Sheryl Sandberg does, if that's the thing that you like.
Yeah, so you just need me to put it in a sentence.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're rewriting it as instructions,
Okay.
which we can do in collaboration with AI, but sometimes it's a little easier just to do this manually, where you pick out what you like.
Trying to think of how I want to say the sentence.
You can also just go to AI and have it rewrite it for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's I know it's so funny. I was like, can I do that on the call? Like, right?
Or you can you all you really need to do is just say use the tone of Cheryl and then get rid of all the descriptions except for the words that she wants. It doesn't have to be a like concise sentence or direction. It can be really, you know, like note taking almost.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then Melinda Gates, results, these are all, we already said that, and we just didn't, I wanted to put the word collaboration in there somewhere. So clarity, warmth, I think she said collaboration. There we go.
Okay. And you don't have to worry about spelling. It'll get what you
Okay,
mean.
good. Because I usually don't when I'm like just doing my thing. I was
Yeah.
like, if anybody watched my prompts, it was like, okay, and use the clarity, warmth. Oh, that's use. Maybe I just do that.
Highly strategic. Do you want to use for clarity and warmth?
Um, oh, I thought I had it up here. So I thought
Yeah,
that
but you could
do
pull
it.
that out from hers too if you wanted to.
Okay,
Because hers will sound different than Cheryl's will.
perfect.
Um, so then copy and paste what you have written here. And then let's go to explore GPTs on the left. Yep. And let's go to create. And we'll go to configure since we know what we want it to do. And you'll name your GPT. You could say it might be Cheris like professional voice.
I don't think I need to add necessarily a description.
Yeah, that's fine. And so then you'll copy the voice description. So you can paste in right now what you have. And then you'll go back and paste in your personal voice, those results that you got.
My apologies. The way that there we go. I couldn't get rid of the Zoom window. So then you wanted my
If you think that's accurate for you,
okay, so
then
what am
just
I wasn't clear what I was what
copy and no, go back.
okay, go back.
Yep. And copy the voice description of your voice.
Got it. Okay. Do you want me to just do that or do you want all of it? I guess
Whatever you
there we
think.
go.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay. And you want to put that underneath?
Put it on top.
Okay.
And then at the top of the instructions, we would say use this tone of voice for any outputs that I ask you for. And then scroll down all the way. Let's see. You could take off Canvas, Dolly, and probably web search. I don't know if you'll need that. Um, and this, then let's say you have a Zoom recording that you pull your voice off of, where
Yeah.
it says upload files. You could upload the transcript there
Okay.
if you have a document that you want to upload. So let's go over to the right and let's hit create. We want to, it's got the preview, but we want to create. And then you can hit save.
Do I want only or anyone with a link? Okay.
Yeah, whatever you'd like.
And so,
Okay. No, let's just close it. Close it
oh,
out. Oh, okay. Well, so if you're in the other side, then we could still make adjustments while you're testing your voice.
okay.
If you look, go up to there's three dots next to your voice. Oh, yep, there's three dots there. Oh, let's edit it. The pencil. Sorry. Okay. So now it's on the right side. You can test the voice.
Okay, so I would say what I say, write an email outlining next steps on the marketing plan. And then I would need to go ahead and like maybe share the marketing plan. Like I would maybe upload the transcript from
Yeah,
like the
you could.
call.
Yeah, you could do that. And
So
for just to show it really quickly, you could say write an email outlining the next steps on a marketing plan. The next steps are
let's see.
to do some research and schedule a follow-up meeting. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I was like, I was instantly going to like what my clients need to do for next, and
Yeah,
do some research and what did you say? Do some,
schedule a follow-up meeting.
okay, should I hit return?
Yep. Look at that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I still am like there's certain things on it that like the solid piece. I was like, oh,
A solid piece.
solid progress. There's
Oh,
certain things that I'm like, oh, that sounds very much like an LLM.
okay. So if that's not something that you would say, you can copy it, paste it into the bottom of instructions and say, do not use this phrase.
Like, don't use deep dive,
Do
solid.
it right. Do it right now. Like do it right now
Okay.
while we're in here. Just
Should I
copy.
do it right here
No, no, no.
in the instructions? Got it. I see what you mean by the
Yeah.
word
So at the
thing.
bottom of mine, I have a list of words that I add to not use.
Great. Oh, whoops.
Oh, on warrants, you just should hit return. Yeah. And
Yeah,
say
I know when I'm in Chat GPT, I do the shift return. Otherwise, it sends it off. Do not use solid, deep dive. What's the other ones that are so now I can't think of them.
game changing.
Game
Unlock,
changing.
unleash, thrilled.
Yeah.
Anything that's on LinkedIn.
Mm.
The game change. And then I would say overly floral language. That's another thing. And no metaphors. Have you noticed that they like to use metaphors?
Yeah. No metaphor. Yeah.
That's always built into my tone to not use those things.
Okay, yeah, no metaphors.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
look look at your description, your voice and tone description above and just see if there's anything that could, let's see, that could lead to that.
and
And I
then,
don't, then you can update, it says updates pending. So when you're ready, then you can go hit update and continue and ask the question again and see.
okay, where did you say updates pending? Okay.
And then on the right, it says update, far right, upper right corner. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that the instructions are updated and just close out that window. That's fine. We'll just stay in here and because now we're refining your voice.
Okay.
So give it the same prompt again.
Of, um,
The, the follow-up email.
Yeah, this is much. See how more succinct it is?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your time, Joey. I appreciate the insights you shared. I'm looking forward. This sounds like me.
Okay, good.
Yay.
Yeah, this the other one did not was I was gonna have to go through and do a lot of edits, right? And this is
Yeah.
much closer to my style when following up with a client.
And then if you do use bullet points, that's something that shows up in mine. Um, there's you can put that in your voice and tone that use bullet points when possible, or as just a note. Um, yeah, when appropriate.
Yeah, I was gonna say I won't do it on the call with you guys, but I was like, there's certain instances, right? Like in listing out
Yeah,
action items, listing out content changes, listing out like I could be very specific.
yeah. So then we'll update it again. And now it has those instructions as well. So this is a basic, this now you have your professional voice, GPT, which we kind of talked about agents or custom GPTs. And I had a question on in a group that I just was in where somebody asked, well, isn't an agent where it does something and you don't have to prompt it to do something? And isn't that the difference between a custom GPT and an agent? And I would say custom GPT is just a bad name. An agent is is similar to agents can do things on their own, but some need prompting. So a custom GPT is an agent. Agent is the overarching category. Gemini has a thing that they call gems, and that's their version. And some platforms call them bots, some platforms call them agents. They all have different names. And so we'll just say agent, we're going to make a custom agent, and that broadly covers the whole category of creating a thing that uses AI to do a thing that you want it to do. And that thing can be directed or it can be automated. So now you may have something that says, so we worked on this with the newsletter. It could only find news within the last week. That was a specification on instruction. And it needs to summarize 3 articles. It needs to do these things. So when it's time to run it, then you can just say go and it runs it. Or you could have something automated that basically pushes the go button for you once a week. And then it could be sent into your newsletter thing that you make your newsletters in, CRM system or whatever. So you can have the systems talk to each other and do the things, or you can build an agent that's just a handy tool for you to prompt and use and interact with. Um, because you can have a customer service agent that never talks to a customer, but it helps the people who talk to customers answer their questions. So there's agent is a broad category. And custom GPTs would fit under that. And that's the language that ChatGPT uses instead of agent.
Yeah, and they now have something called Operator, and
Yeah,
it's in
yeah,
its beta phase. Well, they've released it, but to me, it's beta because it's limited to what it can do. And what it reminds me of is like on Adobe Photoshop, where you used to batch images, you would record the actions that you would do to like size them down, make them 300 by 300, make them black and white, and you would do the actions and record it. And then it knows to just do that to the rest of them. And I feel like that's kind of what Operator is, at least right now. But it's really interesting. I only played with it for a little bit, but if you ask it to go search the internet, you're actually watching another window come up and it's searching the internet for whatever you asked it for, and you can take over the screen at any time. So it's like this is taking on the actions for you in these simplistic tasks. So that should, I'm sure that's going to become way more powerful and like maybe be able to link straight to your GPTs, like calling out the operator or, something like that. Um, I did want to say what we did with you today on this custom GPT is like level one. So you can keep layering onto this. So now you can create another, maybe the GPT only writes emails for these follow up and schedule a call. Like you've already told it all of that and you put your voice in it. So what I mean by layering is like not only instructions, but then your voice and then like output instructions. Like you just keep layering more and more. Like when you saw that first output and you're like, wait, I don't use that word and this
Mm.
word. And so you just add to the instructions. You just keep doing that. So you could essentially have um, your voice writing you social media posts, your voice writing an email, your voice writing blogs, like each one of those things where you could, the go or the send could be maybe what the blog title should be, and then it would write it all, the rest of it for you based on an outline that you've given it. I mean, you can do that now. So just
Yeah.
think of these GPT things as like it starts with the one instruction, right? Like getting your voice down. And then, okay, what else can I
What
make
else
it
can I,
do?
that's
You know, just like keep thinking about that and like layering it on. Um, I had never made a gem before. Like that's just not what I use to make those things. And I did it while you were working on yours. So I want to show that just real quick. Oh, I have an update on Jasper as well. I asked Jasper again, what my zodiac sign was based on my voice description, and it said Virgo or Capricorn, and then I made it choose one, and it chose Virgo, which is wrong. I'm a Capricorn, and so, but that was way closer than it never would get it right before. So, my voice is getting more clearly defined because it knows who I am. So
I have a question since you mentioned Jasper. So this is you know, you could create, I know we did the same thing in Jasper, right? And creating a voice and then sharing like documentation that back that up. Is there a distinct difference between the two? Or I mean, or could, okay.
I
Well,
use them
shaking your head.
both. Like my beginning research for my voice was while we were testing it in ChatGPT, and then I took that over to Jasper and gave it that. And then it just continues to redefine it. The outputs in Jasper are made specifically for marketing. Like that's what that entire platform is for. It's for marketers. So the outputs for anything marketing are million times better than what I see on any of the others, like
Got it.
hands down. We still use Claude for letter writing. Claude is really good at letter writing proposals. Something that Claude just sounds more human to me. And but even in
Yeah.
proposals, it's really good at keeping it organized and structured, and it's good at pricing if you need ideas with that. Um, but the gem, which I just did, I did end up adding my voice into it after because I wanted it to be sound like me. So I had never even done it before. So I just went here to Gem Manager and then I clicked on New Gem. So this is the gem I created was I wanted the gem to go out, look for 5 news articles about AI, and I wanted it to focus on AI that people can use in their business. Specifically, I had it add like a few sentences of my own opinion. I actually got these instructions by using the Jasper extension over here on the side, then bringing it over here, and then having Gemini also clean it up. So this is a multi-step voice, you know, using all the tools. So now when I do it, all I have to do is open up a conversation in that, just like you do on ChatGPT, and I can just say go. What I didn't like is that it's not actually finding me articles.
Oh,
And there's no way to like, I couldn't find any settings to make it search the web. And I actually one thing it does do is give you samples of articles you could use for this purpose, but like then I'd have to rewrite the whole thing. So it worked for what I wanted it to do. It apparently doesn't have the capability to give me actual, even though I told it, use articles about known companies, give me actual articles. Like I went back and wrote that in there. It didn't do it. But I
Interesting.
added, like the ending, have a great day, Andrea, and I had my voice into it. I also added the subject line and preview text. Um, but I thought what it gave me was good. I just I don't think it's capable at this time of giving me what I actually need. But had I not asked it to go search for something outside of itself, then it probably would be a good result. Still get
Mm.
me 5 really good ideas for articles that sounded good. Um, I also asked it to give me positive AI articles, so I was um, steering it in what it was looking for as well. And it did actually find them. It just didn't rewrite them. So, but it was a good experiment.
Yeah. And can you share gems now, Andrea? Were you able to do that? So your interaction with it can be as little as saying the word go, like, or it can be more detailed instructions because it's a light general one, like with your voice. Um,
I
something
don't
you
have
could,
the ability to share.
okay. Yeah. So gems aren't shareable yet. Um, one of the things that I like to do is if I've had a challenging email or interaction, phone call, I can rant to AI and I can say all the things that I would like to say to the person that was on the phone call or whatever it was, if there is something. Um, and then I can ask it to make the email or my response sound professional. So you can say all the things that you want to, and then it turns it into a lovely, you can even say, like, I want this to sound lawyerly, I want it to be non-confrontational or whatever it is. You can kind of specify how you want your response to be. But you could just dump any thought into it and it will put it in in your tone of voice and make it sound nice. And it can be the messiest thing. So you can just, like, I know someone who's dyslexic and she just walks around and talks to her AI all the time and has it do things for her because she'll get better outputs that way. And then for her with the learning disability, it also then has opened up this huge world to be able to interact easily and produce content easily without being so stressed about it. And there a lot of people like just talking to the AI. And now you can have it talk back to you in your voice. So if you have the app on your phone or have it enabled on your computer, you can also have voice conversations, two-way conversations with it. You can even give it a name. You can even tell it in your instructions to always call you Charlie or whatever. Like, or give it a different name or have you call it or have it address you as, Queen. It doesn't matter.
I'm
Like
doing
it's
that.
yeah, Queen.
I love it.
My queen. I mean, you could even have like after every output, say thank you, my queen.
Yeah. You're doing great, Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could feed it a bunch of mantras.
So after you mentioned with the AI agent that, then you can get it to do things, is that integration with other tools that then you're
Yeah.
able to say, okay, I want you to create the newsletter here, and then you integrate it with MailChimp, and then will it do what it needs to do?
In
Okay.
theory,
In
it will.
theory. Okay.
You may need to, you'll need to test it and make sure in our all of our attempts with doing our email newsletter, we have to revise our instructions and then we get better with our instructions and we get better outputs and the tools change. So your outputs could change and they might need a little bit of reprompting. And that's where having a human in the loop for us is so important. Like we would not publish anything that a human doesn't look over. Um, Even if it is 100% AI and we don't make any changes, we still want to look over it. And that's a choice that we make to spend the time reviewing things because we don't want it to sound like it's coming from AI. And we think we're pretty good at making it sound like humans and like us, you know? And so if we put out something that was just AI garbage, that would be that would be against our skills and values.
Correct.
Yeah. So I just decide where you want humans involved in your process. And
Yeah, it
then,
always makes me feel like there's such a need for humans when we talked about source of truth and those types of things. So when you talk about like the human, that is taking over our jobs, the more I'm doing this, I'm like, oh no, like it still needs a
Mhm.
human to think through like what needs to happen, but it also
Yeah.
is a collaborator because then it thinks through things that you may not have thought of or
Yeah.
at it in a
That's
different
what
way.
they say, it's not AI taking over your job, it's people using AI taking your job.
yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
Because it needs the someone to drive it. If it doesn't, all of this is just a platform without someone asking it a question and asking it another question and like doing these things. It's nothing without that.
Yeah, it's kind of was the light bulb a few months ago of like, oh no,
yeah,
there's some jobs I want it to take over, right? And then that's what you're
Hmm.
using the tools for of automating some of this stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, and the automations is a really interesting part and really the focus I think of 2025 is less about new tools, but now how do we get it to all work together? And it's so
hmm
case
Yes.
by case basis because everybody's got a different process. Like you might use Mailchimp, someone else might use another software, and then they're on Microsoft or they're on Google or they're on and so the formula is totally different for everyone.
yeah,
You just saying that alone, Andrea, really has been just the classes that I've been to so far of just like validating my feelings about how it's coming together and there's a lot of disparity right now.
yeah.
And it.
I the group that I was in, I had somebody ask me about a tool that's not Zapier. And I was like, you can use it. It's more technical. I think it might be a little less expensive. We're not technical, and we use it for everything. We use Zapier because that's what we know how to use, and it works for pretty much all the thing that our tech stack that's current. And if you have a technical team too, then you can do different things than if you don't have a technical team. Because for us, we also need to think about we're the ones maintaining it. And if something breaks or is inaccurate, we need to be able to go in and fix it. So we don't want someone to build something that we don't know how to get into to fix.
Mhm.
That's why we use templates on websites. We use, like even though Andrea could go in and fix some HTML, like we try to do everything so that it's repeatable and scalable and as easy as
Easy.
possible. Yeah, as easy as possible to edit.
So you can be nimble.
Yeah,
Especially in this space, everything's changing.
Well,
And
this just
yeah,
reminds me of like the beginning of my marketing days, right? When .com came on and there was all of this just like, oh, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this.
yeah,
And then it starts to consolidate. But right now I'm just trying to figure out like what to go deeper in. But I've already gotten a lot more clarity in having these master classes. So thank you.
you're
great.
welcome.
So glad.
Yeah, definitely. Jeanette, you've been very quiet. Do you have any questions or comments? Have you made your custom GPTs or agents?
A little bit when I was job hunting a while ago. Um, but I haven't played with it as much as I probably could.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, and I'm in agreement with you need to be adopting AI because you need to use that for your next job. It's not this taking over. Yeah, you could see how it's replacing humans for a lot of parts, but you need the human interaction too and the critical thing. I say you need the critical thinking skills. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
to in
That's
the
a great
experience
way.
to know if the information is accurate. You need to be able to analyze what the results are that it's giving you and then modify them.
Yeah, because essentially you or your business or a corporation knows if this is accurate. Are they describing our product correctly or service? Is this the audience we want to go after? Is this the right context? That's that source of truth that we also talk about in the course, which teaches you to have your sources of truth. So that could be a brand guideline, it could be product catalog, it could be, you know, ideal client profile you built, like whatever. You create this almost like I compare it to like an encyclopedia set, something you can always go back to and check against because AI wants to give you an answer, even if it doesn't know it, which is where those hallucinations, but they want to give you something. They're not gonna just gonna leave it blank. It always gives you something, right? Even if it says, you know, I can't do that right now, it's still gonna answer you. So it's
Yeah.
just about knowing that and knowing what it is you're asking it to do and what about you're asking it to do.
Yep.
Save you lots of time.
So much time. Andrea had one, like she said, it just wrote all the suggestions for blogs and then wrote all the blog posts and everything's in her voice and then writes the social media posts and
Yeah, I wrote
and
like 12 blogs in less than an hour. After I did my voice, I was so excited about how well it was turning out. When I actually saw like an email or something, I thought, well, hey, I went on and I did some keyword research. I got some phrases, I put it in and I said, okay, write these 10 blogs and it just pumped them all out and there we go. We got 10 more blogs we can post. So
Yeah, I
it's
have a
pretty
friend with
cool.
blogs and I'm thinking I need to do that for them though. Uh, yeah, don't entirely want it in their voice. But I think there's definitely a balance because like you're saying earlier, the things you don't want it to use.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was realizing you put in there, do not use the word seamless. That's always been
Oh, that's
well, that's
flies
Mhm.
and
another one.
bumpers.
Yep. And once you get that down, it's to the races. You can put in whatever, you can say, um, I did for a client the other day, I did 2 months of social media posts and not just the titles, captions, hashtags, links, all of that, plus the day of the week it was going to go on and what channel and what time it should be posted for every single one for 2 months. And that I did that in like I think it was like an hour, maybe less. So once you can, this part of getting your voice and getting these instructions is so important for what you can do with it later.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like preparation, right? Like spending time really thinking through the prompt and then
Yep.
putting that upfront work because then it's going to save you time later on down the road.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want that to stop you from starting a prompt. Like what we did was pretty messy for voice, right? We just took
Yeah,
some
I
random
did. That's
emails, copied it, right? And
And you still
so
ended up
and I still
getting
did that.
yeah, so it doesn't
to
have to be
start.
perfect. Yeah, you can just iterate on it and start with a small idea. And you can even ask AI, like, please help me write instructions for a custom GPT that does this, or an AI agent that does this thing. And it will help you. It'll help you write the instructions. And, like we keep saying, you'll have to tweak them. You'll add those different words. Don't use this thing. Um, and Andrea's done her voice several times over the last 2 years, and this last version was excellent. And
Yeah.
because AI is better now, and as AI gets better, you may want to completely redo your voice in 6 months because you might be able to get even better output. So for now, like now you can find a transcript where you speak a lot
What I want to
and
do.
yeah, and put it in there for some instructions too and see what happens.
And it doesn't matter what the transcript meeting is for. It really doesn't. Like I think ours was just like a office hours call, like our morning meeting where I was talking and it wasn't even like we're going to talk about marketing or we're going to talk about AI. It was just me talking and that worked better than like me taking some of my emails and like compiling all of that. I found that the transcript for me worked better. I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine that it almost made it more genuine.
Hmm. Yeah, because then it wasn't on a specific subject matter. So it just gets
Mhm.
how you talk about anything. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it has gotten better for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like you could upload and say, what could I have done better in this meeting?
Oh,
Yes.
well, or you use tools
Right.
like Read AI like we do, and it gives you that feedback. It'll give you action items to follow up on, the summary. And now we have that integrated with a Zap using Zapier that now is going to populate tasks and leads and things like that into our CRM. So that's like the next step, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have all these things, but if they're all just sitting in their separate homes, they're not really doing anything unless you have a lot of time and a lot of people to be managing all of that. So now it's like that connection and automation where the real magic happens.
Yeah, this is not even
Yeah.
learning to crawl, maybe learning to
Yeah, I
sit
was
up.
going to say that's not the first rung on the ladder yet. This
Hmm.
is just
Yeah.
getting the ladder to the house.
Yeah. Well, have fun with your custom voice agent,
Thank you
and
for doing
we'll,
that.
you're welcome. We'll see you on Tuesday, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Um,
I'll get those invites sent out.
Okay, cool. Just as long as I know I was looking and I thought, I wonder if I don't have it down correctly. So, okay. Well,
You'll
good.
get
Thank
yeah.
it.
you, everyone. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank
Yeah, it
you.
was nice to see you. Thanks for being the guinea pig today.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciated that. Okay.
Good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.